Bonsoir, mes amis. Welcome back to Monaco. Last time we plundered the royal palace. This time, we're gonna go plunder the only place that could possibly have more money. For the casino, I think we'll take out the pickpocket. He hasn't seen too much use in a while. Looks like we're getting some pretty big ambitions here. There are a couple different items you can grab here, but I prefer taking the EMP. And I got a couple reasons for that that'll become apparent over time. One of the reasons I prefer using the pickpocket for this level is that there are a significant amount of pieces of gold, both sitting on top of civilians and otherwise. If you try to grab them yourself, you're just going to cause a lot of people to get alerted or pay attention to you. Or in the case with these areas up at the tables, they're just going to be hard to get to unless you're the gentleman or somebody else. So it's just easier if you have somebody like the pickpocket who will go and grab them for you. You can see these pieces sitting on the tables themselves are getting picked up by the monkey. If I had to go and grab those with any character but the gentleman without a disguise, those guards would be alerted pretty near instantly. So, it just makes my life a little bit easier. As to the reason I grabbed the EMP, it's mostly because there are a good number of these alarm safes sitting around, and more than likely you are not going to have that many opportunities to get computer viruses to knock them down. While using the EMP, if you time it well, you can have it unlocked by the time the power comes back on. The EMP will also serve a couple other uses, such as knocking out the lights so that the visibility is lower, which is a lot more useful than it sounds. The second floor is another delightful little mix of patience and decisive action. And again, where the reason I prefer the EMP for this area is the vault is pretty difficult to get into. You see down the middle there's the prize display. There are 3 alarm doors, and also a solid laser sitting right next to it. Without the EMP, it'd be pretty difficult to get in there reliably. You also might have noticed that the monkey was working overtime there, grabbing all those pieces of gold. Again, it can be a little bit of a trial if you do it the wrong way. There are disguises in a power box here, so if you're so inclined, you can turn that off. And it'll usually take the guards a while to get to it, mostly because they patrol so far away from it and all they do is walk to it. But since I've got the EMPs, I might as well just go for it. I pop one there to lower the light visibility and also knock out the laser, because there's still a couple things I have to grab over this way. I prefer to grab that pile of cash from this side rather than the other, because it spawns on this side. Even if that means I have to pop an EMP to keep my disguise from breaking so he doesn't alarm on me. I'm actually kind of proud of this here. I get the clerk's attention enough so that she starts wandering my way, but she also gets behind the pillar, so I'm able to open this ATM before she returns to her position and can fully look at me. If I just tried opening the ATM, she would have paid attention to me, called the alarm, everything under the sun. So, manipulating people's lines of sights and how alert they are is a valuable skill to learn. While doing this, you probably want to stand off to the left or right of the safe rather than on top of it, because that alarm will come back on and set off as soon as you look at it. But with the judicious use of EMPs, we can be out of here in no time. I know I keep saying it, but the VIP poker room is where the pickpocket really shines in this area. And you'll see why shortly. There are a lot of civilians and there's a lot of gold to pick up. And each one of these civilians is backed by their own guard, either a melee guard or a pistol guard. So, if I was playing the gentleman, it'd be one thing. I could just dash out there, grab what I need to grab, and then move back in, no problem. If I'm playing any other character, it gets quite a bit messy. As it is, I'm still going to have to run in there to grab the trophy on the table itself. Which is another reason I brought the EMPs. You could do this easily enough with smoke bombs, but with the EMP, it knocks out the lights for long enough that nobody can get a perfect look at you. Especially not the pistol guards, who can quite easily do some real damage.
J'ai un petit creux là, pas toi.
Otherwise, the main thing to do in this area is just hide behind the pillars to avoid people across the table from paying too much attention to you, and you should be set.
Quoi? J'étais sûr d'avoir entendu quelque chose.
And of course, with a little bit of fancy footwork, we can get through here without anybody getting a real good look at us. Because I'm just that slick.
Oh, et puis tant pis.
With that out of the way, all we have to do is make our way back down to street level, clear out the underground, and we should be good to go.
Infect. Quand je pense qu'ils appellent ça du champagne.
The pickpocket's ability to dive into these bushes extra quick is a kind of a lifesaver when you're going through the upper room, since the bushes are really the only cover you have. It's not even very effective if you knock out the lights using the power box of the EMP, because everything's lit up by torches. So you can knock the lights out, and it'll have some small effect, but you're still pretty visible. Which is why every time I've grabbed a disguise coming through here, it's almost completely eroded by the time I get to the other side. There are two sections to the underground level. There's the meat locker area for Jumbo's kitchen, and then there is a ladder that connects to the other side, which is the underground vault for the casino. I kind of like the underground vault area. They've got a pretty good database bank, and then they've got the interrogation room where some hapless customer is being looked at. Something important to note is that hapless customer who is being interrogated, he acts like any other civilian. He'll look at you, he'll alert the guard to you, the guard right in front of him, and then after they're alerted and they go back to their normal positions, they go straight back to being interrogated. You gotta admire that kind of honesty in a guy, I guess. There's a decent number of computers here, but I find it's just easier to brute force with the EMPs. Mostly because, at most you can only get 3 computer viruses, and there's going to be a little bit more than that you need to knock out as far as electronics goes. Alarm panel on the floor, solid laser, another alarm panel covering the safe. So that's one problem. Meanwhile, in the middle, there's a solid laser covering that door, so if you're not careful, and you approach that locked door from the top, you'll unlock the door straight into the laser. You'll set off the alarm, and you'll be locked in with those double security doors. And that's no good.
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bruit? Ouais, ils ont déguerpi.
This up here is the only cash register I really have a problem with. It's got that wavering laser right on top of it, along with the civilian. I stepped in a little bit too early there, but you really can't do one without having a problem with the other.
Je crois que c'est bon.
Either you step in too early and you set off the alarm, you step in too late, and the alarm goes off before you finish the cash register. Your disguise wears off, the civilian pays attention to you, the civilian runs to the police cop immediately. It's a problem, but nothing insurmountable. Anyway, so that completed, we'll pop an EMP to knock off the car alarms, and we should be out of here. All we have to do is we'll take a look at the differences for enhanced mode. As a matter of fact, I can only really think of one major difference for enhanced mode. It's something small. You remember that interrogation room? Oh, hey look, it's our good buddy Seth. Looks like he's been shooting some snake eyes. Crime doesn't pay, Seth. See you next time.